Here is your rewritten version, more detailed, continuous, without headings, and reusing all the core issues exactly as requested. Where are you listening from? My father's voice sliced through the room before the turkey had even begun to cool, sharp enough to silence every fork and every breath. You're getting nothing. His tone carried the finality of a judge, and the tap of his fork against the plate sounded like a gavel sealing a sentence no one would appeal. I stared at him, then at the faces around the table, the ones pretending not to enjoy the humiliation he delivered so casually. My sister's smirk curled like she had been waiting all night for this moment. My wife kept her eyes lowered, too still, too composed, as if the script had already been written. The air thickened, dense enough to choke on. Then she leaned in, her breath warm against my ear, her voice soft like she was offering kindness instead of destruction. I'm leaving you tomorrow, for his brother. I'm taking everything. She said it gently, almost tenderly, the way someone might break bad news to a stranger they'd never see again. I didn't respond. I just watched the string of Christmas lights behind her head flicker, each bulb blinking like a warning I had ignored for years. By 10 o'clock, they told me to be out of the house. By 10 o'clock, the life I had built was already being erased in real time. But as I stepped through the door, prepared to walk into a version of my future I hadn't chosen, their phones lit up all at once. A synchronized glow. A sudden alarm. My wife screamed. My father called 27 times before I cleared the county line. 27 missed calls from the man who had just cut me out of everything. The betrayal didn't begin at Christmas. It had started long before, in quiet, ordinary moments I pretended didn't mean anything. The late-night whispers she disguised as work calls. The sudden trips to her sister's house that never aligned with her sister's stories. The way she began locking her phone even when she stepped into the shower for 2 minutes. I felt the shift months ago. Her voice carried a new softness, one not meant for me. Her eyes reflected a distance she never bothered explaining. I told myself it was work stress, or exhaustion, or the slow erosion that happens in long marriages. I didn't want to believe she could lie with the ease of breathing. But at that dinner table, under the weight of her father-in-law's shadow and my own family's staged cruelty, she didn't hide anything anymore. She didn't flinch. She didn't tremble. She looked relieved, free even. And that cut far deeper than the words themselves. The realization that she had emotionally packed her bags long before tonight carved something cold and exacting inside me. I saw it now in every half-finished sentence, every distracted glance, every laugh she gave someone else, the laugh I hadn't heard in months. I left the table quietly, but something inside me aligned with a clarity that felt almost surgical. Not rage, not heartbreak, just understanding. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask why. I didn't argue. Instead, I began pulling apart the seams of the life we shared, one thread at a time. Phone records came first. A number called at strange hours, midnight, 2 a.m., sometimes 10 times in a single night, saved under a fake name. I traced it to an address only 10 miles away. His address. My sister's husband's brother. They weren't even careful. They didn't need to be. Everyone else knew but me. Next, I pulled the bank statements. Hotel rooms booked on days she claimed she was sick. Dinner reservations for 2. Charges in places she had never mentioned but wore the perfume of someone waiting for discovery. I didn't react. I didn't confront her. I kept my tone steady when she asked if I could pass the salt. I slept beside her while her phone buzzed under her pillow like a heartbeat that wasn't meant for me. Then I checked my father's accounts, because his cruelty at dinner hadn't felt spontaneous. It felt rehearsed. Planned. And there it was, money shifted weeks ago. My inheritance. All of it. Gone. Transferred to my sister without a word. He hadn't been angry at dinner. He had been preparing. The more I uncovered, the calmer I became. I moved through that house like a ghost, gathering evidence, piecing together truths I should have noticed years ago. Nothing in that home, those walls, that table, that family had ever truly belonged to me. The truth arrived the next morning disguised as a folder, one I printed myself. Screenshots. bank records, location data. All of it laid out neatly, the way you organize tools before a job that must be done cleanly. She walked into the dining room wearing the sweater I bought her last Christmas. She froze when she saw me. Not angry, not broken, just empty of whatever love she had pretended was still there. She opened the folder. Her eyes darted left to right, page to page, growing wider with every line. Her breathing quickened. Her fingers trembled. When she whispered my name, it cracked down the middle. I didn't look away. She broke first. They always do. I told her I knew everything. Then I told her about the video, the reason she screamed the night before, the reason my father called me 27 times. The video her lover, her brother-in-law, had recorded confessing to embezzling from the family business, begging for forgiveness,
Crying.
destroying himself. And someone leaked it.
Not me.
Someone else had already set fire to the world she thought she controlled. My father's desperate calls weren't apologies. They were panic. A man losing control of the empire he believed he owned. I didn't tell her that I knew even more, that I had copies of every document, that with a single email I could ruin all of them. I didn't need to. I simply told her to keep everything she stole. Because once truth rots, the thief is the one left holding the decay. I packed one bag.
Just one.
No photos. No gifts. No memories. They had stopped belonging to me long before tonight. She begged me to stay, her voice shaking in a way it never had while she was betraying me. I didn't stop walking. My father called again, and again until my phone died. I let it ring. The night air outside the edge of town felt colder than I expected, but clean.
Honest.
They had taken everything they thought mattered, but I walked away with something they could never touch. A truth that belonged only to me. And now I'll ask you, what would you have done if you were standing in my place? If this story reached you, follow for more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.